Brother Maynard, bring up the holy hand grenade. 1, 2, 5.
Please, sir.
3.
Arm yourselves, America. This is Defenders Live.
Here comes the danger up in this club. When we get started, man, we ain't gonna stop. We gonna turn it out till it gets too hot. Everybody sing, hey, tell 'em turn it out till they get no more. Let's get this thing shaking like a disco ball. This is your last warning, I'm gonna see it go. I am not afraid of the storm that comes my way. When it hits,
Well, good morning, everybody. This is Stephen Airey, usually from Defenders Live, but standing in for Battle4Freedom here for Watson Prunier on the Mojo 50 Radio Network. Good morning. Good morning. I tell you what, it is crazy. We're going to start it off pretty funny. I don't know. I'm just saying. By the way, go check out everybody on the Mojo 50 Radio Network. It's mojo50.com, mojo50.com. When you go there, check the schedule, look at everything else. Make sure that you know who is on and where. Not only can you find our show on there, which is Defenders Live, Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, but you can find a plethora of much better entertainment than us. So check that out. That includes this show that I'm currently on, which is Battle for Freedom, 7 a.m. Eastern Time. Once again, check that out. Mojo50.com. That's mojo50.com. So, study finds that painting eyes on cows' butts helps ward off predators. Yes, you heard that right. There is no silver bullet, but the eye cow technique is a tool available to farmers, and that they seem to be using now. Cattle herds in the Okavango Delta region of Botswana are plagued by attacks of lions and other predators and things like that, which prompted farmers in the area to retaliate by killing the predators. In an alternative, non-lethal technique involved with painting eyes on cows' butts, the trick sets up an idea that there's always eyes watching you, which stops most predators from trying to attack. It's called the Eye Cow Project. Yeah, it's really not a great idea. And a recent paper published in the Journal of Communication Biology provides some, but not much, empirical evidence for the practice. There are now some practical guides for using iCal technique available in both English and Setswana, because Botswana. So farmers can not only read about it, but do it themselves. No offense to anybody, but there are quite a few cows in America that already seem like they already have eyes on the back of them. And no, I'm not talking about cattle. Good morning, Virginia Jackhole. Glad to see you're with us. Neil Jordan, a conservation biologist in the University of New South Wales in Australia, came up with the idea several years ago while he was doing field research in Botswana. Local farmers killed a pair of lionesses in retaliation for preying on their herd of cattle, and Jordan wanted to come up with a non-lethal alternative. The African lion population has dropped significantly because of retaliation killings. Humans killing lions because the lions kill their animals, and that makes sense to me. You kill the predator before it kills what you're trying to raise, your own food. Jordan knew the butterfly wings sporting eyes are known to ward off prey. You can find them on fish, mollusks, amphibians, birds, even butterflies. They put the eyes on the back of the thing and the whole deal, and it makes it look like they're looking at you always. So why not put it on the butts of cows? Well, this seems like a very funny situation. It really isn't. This is one of those things that you look at and you're like, okay, it makes sense. But oh my gosh, is it funny that they have a study to actually figure out whether or not it's workable? Yes. Yes, it's workable. Yes, we understand it. But that being said, oh my God, come on. Come on. Anyway, we go from cow butts to camel toes as Camel Toe Harris decided to step out from inside the platform after Joe Biden walked away from the Democratic DNC stage to accept the vice presidential nomination. Sorry. California Senator Kamala Harris has received the vice presidential nomination to the Democratic ticket during the third night of the DNC. Not only did she praise Joe Biden, but she also was taking jabs at Donald Trump. I know that you guys understand this, but she has quite a reputation for going down. I'm just going to let that sit there for a minute. Yeah, she decidedly made sure that her job placement, she always tried to raise the ladder. She chose to rise up on the ladder by making sure to go down, if you understand what I mean. Oh my goodness, so that's amazing right there. Harris became the first woman of color to receive the vice presidential nomination from a major political party in the United States. To which she said, "I accept your nomination for the vice president of the United States of America." Mm-hmm. Yes, Harris spoke to a mostly empty hall in Wilmington, Delaware. She began her speech by recounting the story of her mother, who immigrated to the United States from India and met her economist father at a march for equality. She went on to highlight her career in public service and then offered a campaign pitch for Joe Biden and the Democratic platform. This is the leader who wrote, and this is a quote, "This is a leader who wrote the Violence Against War Act and enacted an assault weapon ban," said Harris about Biden, who as vice president implemented the Recovery Act, which brought our country back from the Great Recession. Now, I don't know if you understand about what Joe Biden is or is not, but it's rather ironic. Incredibly ironic, I would say, that Joe Biden wrote the Violence Against Women Act. The same Joe Biden who loves to grab on women, the same Joe Biden who loves to steal kisses from unwanting women, the same Joe Biden that likes to, I don't know, caress very young girls and smell their hair. That's still technically violence against women, guys. That's still something that you would look at and say, yeah, that's not good. He's the guy that apparently wrote the Violence Against Women Act, which I doubt he actually wrote, more like somebody wrote it and he put his name on it. She also appeared to take jabs at the president in an oblique reference to accusations made against him while touting her experience as prosecutor, which she didn't have much. Her experiences were mainly underneath the bed sheets. Quote, "I fought for children." You gobbled a bunch. "And the survivors of sexual assault. I fought against the transnational gangs." Wow, that was almost a very bad slip up there. I took on the biggest banks and helped take down one of the biggest for-profit colleges, said Harris. By the way, for-profit colleges really aren't a bad thing. A college can still be for-profit. In fact, then they might be a little better. Because if a college happens to be for-profit, then they would have to, I don't know, pay attention to their customer, which happens to be the student. And maybe they wouldn't charge half as much as a nonprofit, which doesn't care and is willing to, put you into millions and millions of dollars in debt just so you can go to school. I don't know. My 2 cents. Yeah, but whatever. No, Swedmus Prime, it is early, but I am on the radio for the Battle for Freedoms. It's okay. It's okay. I'm here. I'm with you. I'm for you. That's how this works. Oh, gosh. But you know what else is with me? And no, I don't mean Kamala Harris or Joe Biden. No, with me today is, as always, my wonderful American Pride Roasters coffee. Because I don't know about you, but I have to wake up in the morning. And when I do, I prefer... Nay. In fact, I demand American Pride Roasters. American Pride Roasters is historically great coffee. It is one of those things that the moment that you put it into your mouth, you don't want to let it go. Kamala knows all about it. American Pride Roasters is amazing. Whether you like their flavored, they're unflavored. Whether you want, whether you're just a straight coffee guy, whether you want it black, it doesn't matter. Do you like teas? I don't know. Maybe you do. If you do, they have those. They also have the chocolates and the espresso, the small espresso shots. Oh my gosh! Anything that you get from American Pride Roasters is going to be amazing. It is the best coffee I have ever put into my mouth, and that is saying a lot. Go to AmericanPrideRoasters.com, AmericanPrideRoasters.com. That's the place where you can go to get America's historically great coffee and tea over at AmericanPrideRoasters.com. So the U.S. Air Force recovered a live missile from a Florida airport. I'm going to let that sink in for a second. Yeah. A Florida airport was recently forced to call the government officials to transport an errant French air-to-air missile to a nearby base. Which goes without saying, how did the French get a missile in the first place? Those guys always surrender. But I digress. Authorities in Lakeland Linder International Airport in Lakeland, Florida, called the Air Force and the ATF to report a live missile. Members of the MacDill Air Force Base's 6th Civil Engineering Squadron Explosives Ordnance... Wow. Why? Why do you have such large freaking acronyms? What is wrong with you? The CESEOD? Why? Why is it that big? You don't need that many words. The Air Force's Bomb Disposal Unit. Why? Why do you make it more complicated than it has to be? You guys aren't even smart enough to realize it half the time. Stop it. That's a joke, by the way. Love my armed forces, guys. And it is the Air Force anyway. They've arrived on the scene to retrieve the missiles and transports and transported to their base for eventual destruction and disposal. The missile was identified as a Matra 530 air-to-air type radar-guided missile, was discovered in the shipment to defense contractor Draken International, which uses the airport for storage of its fighter jets. Draken contracts out jets to train military pilots. Sounds like a Black Ops thing. In a statement, Draken, an aerospace and defense company, told Spectrum News Adhering to the explosive safety rules and exposing the minimum amount of people to the minimum amount of time to a potential explosive hazard, the decision was made to evacuate the facility and its surrounding airport neighbors and contact the appropriate authorities. Draken takes a role in the community seriously and always wants to ensure it performs safe and reliable operations. The Military Times reported that the missile, which was strapped to the back of a flatbed truck, was live at the time of its discovery. It was live, but unarmed. A spokesman from the Air Force told the outlet the missile was like having a gun with a bullet in the chamber, but on safety. Someone would have to arm the missile to fire it. Well, duh. You always have to arm the missile to fire it. That's how these missiles are designed. Air Force First Lieutenant Brandon Hanner, a spokesman for the 6th Air Refueling Wing, told the Military Times that the destruction of the sizable missile would not take place at the MacDill Air Force Base because, well, it's very big, and they need something to put it in. This is not likely going to be here, he explained. It's too big for our range. It will have to be taken off-site to dispose of it. You know, I find it funny that you have these situations to where missiles, military missiles that are technically missiles for the military, from the military, by the military, as it would go about saying, are being taken to a base where it then has to be taken to another location, where it then has to be taken to another. It sounds like they're not actually going to disarm the bomb. More like they're trying to figure out who it belongs to and why it was here in the United States, other than the fact that Draken decided that they were going to bring one back from France when they went and trained those people over there. I don't know, my 2 cents. Maybe it's a bad thing, but then again, maybe not. That's just, I don't know. It's, I can never understand that. Oh my gosh. Anyway, continuing forward, let me talk to you guys about a little known thing. It's a little known thing. If you don't know it out there, it's the CBD oils. Over at KMD CBD oils by Mojo 50. Yeah. If you ever had them, no, you haven't. Well, I'm telling you. CBD oils are an amazing product, especially nowadays where you can actually get high quality CO2 extracted CBDs that are the cleanest that you can get around. Yes, there are still trace amounts of THC inside of them, but nothing that'll actually affect you. It won't actually cause any problems. And almost really has no trace at all. KBMD's CBD oils is hemp extracted derived specifically from industrial hemp plants, made to pull out the highest content of CBD. Not only are they grown organically and the oils are CO2 extracted, but the results of those are put into an easy-to-use dropper containing 900 milligrams of CBD oil. It's awesome. It's amazing. And if you go to mojo50.com, that's mojo50.com/shop, you can get your own CBD oil from Mojo50. It is phenomenal. It's full spectrum CBDs. It's not just the thing where you have to take it with a bunch of other stuff and everything else to make it work. No. If you've got pain in joints and discomfort, difficulty sleeping, frequent inflammation, mood swings, heck, even gut problems, KBMD's CBD oils could be there to deliver some relief. Go over to mojo50.com/shop. That's mojo50.com/shop. Use the promo code Defenders, and you can get $15 off the price when you order. That's $15 off the price when you order the CBD oils over at mojo50.com. Tell you what, it's difficult finding news stories right after you do a show in the evening. It really makes it hard for you to make sure that you've got a bunch of stories to talk about. But let me ask you a question. Anybody out there a fan of sexualizing children other than Joe Biden? No. You're not? Neither am I. But in a move that puts Netflix up there with the new Disney Plus series talking about bisexual girls and having not only witches but bisexual girls as witches, Netflix is accused of sexualizing children with a movie about kids who embrace sensual dancing. And yes, by kids we mean 11-year-old girls, pretty much right up Joe Biden's alley. Cuties is a new show from Netflix, being marketed as a coming-of-age tale. From the Netflix, the streaming giant. But people across the world are expressing outrage with the concerns that the movie is sexualizing young girls. And the petition, there's been a petition pushed out that has been launched in an effort to have it removed from Netflix. On Tuesday, Netflix announced Cuties would be coming out on its platform soon. Sharing a French-language films trailer on Twitter, the promotional plug reads, "Amy's 11. She becomes fascinated with a twerking dance crew. Hoping to join them, she starts to explore her femininity, defying her family's traditions." So not only is it 11-year-old girls being highly sexualized, but it's 11-year-old French girls being highly sexualized by a community of 11-year-old French girls and then exploring their own bodies. Not good. Not good. A full synopsis: 11-year-old Amy lives with her mom and younger brother, awaiting her father to rejoin the family from Senegal. Amy is fascinated by a disobedient neighbor and her free-spirited dancing clique, a group that stands in sharp contrast to the stoic stoic Miriam's deeply held traditional values. That's her mom. Underrated by the girl's initial brutal dismissal and eager to escape her family's simmering dysfunction, Amy, through an ignited awareness of her burgeoning femininity, propels the group to enthusiastically embrace an increasingly sensual dance, sparking the girls' hope to twerk their way to stardom. The last person to twerk her way to stardom was Kamala Harris. And it was in front of Joe Biden. Even before its major platform release, the international film has sparked international outrage. Duh. I'm sorry. But as a father of young girls, and I shouldn't have to say that because technically as an adult with an understanding of what you should and shouldn't do to children, highly sexualizing them in movies, videos, TV shows, and cartoons is the last thing you should be doing. The last thing you should be doing. This is what liberalism brings you. And not the good liberalism, but the same thing that you find in Hollywood. The same thing that you find from the DNC. The same thing that you find from all of these terrible places. If you allow this to continue, just like everything else, it's a slippery slope. And we're all going to find out soon. But anyway, that's a commercial break, so we'll be right back. boop, 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 boop. You guys aren't very talkative this morning. It's bothersome. I was hoping you guys would be jumping in right now. But whatever. No problem. No problem. That's fine. You don't want to talk to me? That's fine. Oh, let's see what's going on all the rest of the social medias here. Everybody else having a good morning? Yeah? Maybe? You don't know? Starting off nice and early? Maybe? You don't know? Well, yeah, you get chair dancing if you're watching the video. I mean, that's what we're going to be doing. It's fine. Yeah, you're going to get chair dancing. It'll be there. I promise. I mean, heck, why wouldn't you get chair dancing? Gosh. Da ba 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 da ba ba. Mm-hmm. Well, thanks, Virginia. Thank you so much. Okay.
I think it's time we blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
Yeah! Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. This is Stephen Airey from Defenders Live here on Battle4Freedom on the Mojo50 Radio Network. By the way, remember to go to mojo50.com. That's mojo50.com. Check out everybody that's on there because most of them are better than myself. By the way, you can find Defenders Live, doaeshow.com, doaeshow.com. That is the same place where you can not only get all of the wonderful gear that we have, but you can also go back and listen to all of our podcasts from the past 3 years. Wow, 3 years. Oh, my God. 3 years. Jeez, that's kind of been a while. All right, so past 3 years, you get all that. You can get the shop. We are the official home of the Jackhole Nation. So if you're one of those out there that is an official Jackhole and you would like to get some gear that you can rep, go to our website, doaeshow.com, doaeshow.com. Not only can you get hats and shirts and cups and all the rest of it, but you can also get the Defenders gear stuff, which is amazing. Also, right now, until the end of the month, Defenders is doing a rally. The rally is very simple. If you go to our website, you go to the bottom right-hand corner, you see a picture. And that picture is of a one-of-a-kind, fully sanctioned by Defenders Live tumbler. 30 ounces, ready for you. We're going to be giving this guy away. Normally about $35. We're rallying that away and asking for a little bit of help. What do we mean by help? Well, the rally is set up in a way to where you get tickets for helping spread the word of Defenders Live. That's right. Whether you like us on Facebook or share us or like and comment on the Twitters and the MeWes and all the rest of it, if you go to the raffle, it'll have you do those things. Set up a like and follow. Go to the podcast that we did, some of the podcast areas that we display on. Write a review. Like us there. Follow us there. Anything that you do in these instances will give you one additional ticket. Now, obviously, you can only do this one time for most of those locations, but if you'd like to, if you've already done all those things and you want to make sure that you can put as many tickets as possible, you can also donate to Defenders Live. It's a little button. You have a $1 and a $5. Obviously, $1 gives you 1 ticket, $5 gives you 5 tickets. But you can donate $1 to Defenders Live, get a ticket, $5 to get 5 tickets, and you can do that every day, once a day, every day. So you can go $1, $5, or a total of 6. You cannot do 2, you cannot do 3, you cannot do 4, you definitely cannot do 8. That's completely out of the question. Why are you even asking? But yes, you can bribe the internet with cash. It's just how it works. We're trying to get our name out there a little bit further, and this is one of the ways that we're doing it. We're bribing you to help us get our name out there. So check us out on the website. Check out the shows. Go to themojo50.com as well. Make sure that you find the schedule there and listen. Mojo50 is the only true free speech network. We have such a plethora of opinions and ideas, and none of it is held back. None of it is reserved. None of it is pushed aside. All of it is there for you on the daily. Check it out, mojo50.com, or go to iHeartRadio and hit the Mojo50 radio button. There you will find us 24/7 streaming live. Oh my goodness. So there's been a mass exodus. Oh, sorry, I forgot. And also, comment, like, share, all the rest of it at DOAE Show on all the social medias. It's at DOAE Show on social medias, or use the hashtag #ArmYourselves on the Twitters, where we do follow. Nope, currently clean. Okay, cool. There's been a mass exodus out of New York City. Because of, the COVIDs and all the rest of it. A mass exodus out of New York City leads high numbers of open apartments, the highest in decades. Residents of New York City appear to be abandoning the city in favor of suburbs and more rural regions as a result of the coronavirus pandemic. Yes and no. Yes and no. Is it really from the coronavirus? It's a good excuse. It's a good excuse. Put it that way. People are fleeing the city in droves, which they've been doing for many years now, said Moon Salahi, the owner of a moving and storage company in the Yonkers. He told the New York Post that he's been moving families with children to the suburbs from all over Manhattan. It could very well be that it's the COVIDs. It could be. It could also be the fact that they don't want to live in the city anymore because it's terrible, horrible. You're being killed and destroyed and, death be upon you. It could also be that Manhattan is too expensive. And the taxes are crazy. And people don't actually want to live there. It could be all those things. But no, we're just going to blame it on the COVID. Another mover, Mark Earhart, of Movers Not Shakers, said that it was the young people who were leaving the city. Now, that is a problem. Normally, out of New York, the people who leave are the people who are retiring and moving to North Carolina and Florida. The young people are leaving. But that's because they can't find jobs. That's because they don't feel safe. That's because they keep getting their money taken away from them from the government, and they don't want it anymore. Another report from the New York Times documented that there were more than 67,000 apartment units available for rent in the city. Now, I will tell you this flat out. Out of every one of those apartments, each one costs more than the house that I am currently living in North Carolina. Every single one of them, from the lowest studio apartment to the, actually, you don't even have to go, the lowest studio apartment that Manhattan has, I promise you, costs more than the current place I am staying, which is one of the problems with Manhattan. This figure is the highest in decades. The figure of July was formulated by StreetEasy, which tracks rental inventory. The report says that the median asking rent has dropped in Manhattan for the first time in decades by a record of 6.7%, which is like $70. Maybe. The landlords are having to entice renters with as much as 3 months free rent just to fill the vacancies. And after those 3 months free rent, they will spend the next 6 months trying to evict them, which means somebody gets free rent for 9 months. And these guys don't get any money from these locations. U.S. postal codes show more than 16,000 New York residents changed their addresses to Connecticut alone, according to the Hartford Courant. Quote, "The pain in New York City economy is profound," said Jonathan Miller, the president of the real estate appraisal company. Record vacancies over the past 14 years, coupled with both the rising market shares and the amount of concessions provided by landlords, all tell a story that the outbound migration of Manhattan is very, very real. Midtown residents, Fatin Fatri, hashtag nailed it, hashtag like a native, told the Post her family was, quote, cooped up in the apartment with her husband having to work from home. So, what's the problem? Oh, here's the problem. Quote, "Before you could go to the park and the playground, and now not even that's possible. It was a nightmare." No, it's not a nightmare. But then again, you live in one of the most progressive cities in one of the most progressive states. Yeah, you're going to be restricted. You're going to be restricted quite a bunch. Not everyone is moving out of the city. Salahi said that the wealthiest residents are able to stay put. Duh, because they have the most money. Although you saying that the wealthiest residents are staying put is like saying that the wealthiest residents aren't finding other places to live while New York dies. The least movement would be Park Avenue and Fifth Avenue crowds. Those people don't have to leave because they have second homes. See, there you go. Smart man, Sully. Smart man, truly. You get it. The people who have the most money in New York also have 2 or 3 houses total. New York is just a place that they stay. They don't have to move because they already have another place that they've already gotten either paid for or on mortgage in a different city, a different state, something completely out. It's amazing how that works. Really, really is. All that being said, we have an article here. It was on LinkedIn originally, and that's kind of where I found it. Apparently, a New York native by the name of James Altucher. I don't know. It's going to be difficult to say that name. Says that he loves New York, but New York is dead forever, and he wants to explain why. Here's how it goes. Oh, I need the music for this. I figured. Sorry. Hold on. Need the music for this. It's got to have. There you go. That's what we need right there. When I first moved to New York City, it was a dream come true. Every corner was like a theater production happening right in front of me. So much personality. So many stories. Every subculture I loved was in New York City. I could play chess all day and night. I could go to comedy clubs. I could start any type of business. I could meet people. I had family, friends, opportunity. No matter what happened to me, New York City was a net I could fall back on and bounce back up. But now it's completely dead. Quote, "But New York City always bounces back." No, not this time. But New York City is the center of financial universes. Opportunities will flourish here again. Not this time. New York City has experienced worse. No, it hasn't. A Facebook group formed a few weeks ago that was for people who are planning to move and wanted others to talk to and ask for advice within 2 or 3 days. That Facebook group grew to 10,000 members. Every day I see more and more posts. I've been in New York City forever, but I guess this time I have to say goodbye. Every single day I see these posts. I've been screenshotting them for my scrapbook. 3 of the most important reasons to move to New York City are your business opportunities, the culture, and the food. And of course, friends. But if everything I say below is even 1/10 of what I think, there won't be any more opportunities to make friends. As far as business is concerned, Midtown Manhattan, the city of New York City, is empty. Even though people can go back to work, famous office buildings like the Time Life skyscraper is 90% empty. Businesses realize they don't need their employees at the office. In fact, they realize that they're even more productive without everyone back at the office because they can just force them to work from home. Yes. You can work from home and make as much money, if not more. It's amazing. It really is. What does he mean? He'll tell you. Because his friend said, "What do you mean? Midtown should be called a ghost town." I'm in my office right now. Anyway, sorry. I can't continue on with this thing. This article's stupid. It goes on and on and on and on and on and talks about the horrors and the terribleness, even back all the way to 1970 and 1980s when New York City was going bankrupt and everything was horrible. It was so bad, but it's nowhere close to New York City that it is today. I understand I'm young. I understand that I only know history from reading it in the past, right? And yes, there are a ton of people leaving New York City, and I understand why. And they should leave New York City. New York City is terrible. Not only are their taxes horrendous, but overall, I mean, people are generally rude. They're known for being mean. I don't get it. I don't know why. But it doesn't make sense. It's like you have one of the highest volumes of people in the same area, all of which striving to do their best and to make money and to make their little piece of the pie better. But a lot of you are just going to be dicks to each other. That's not cool. That's not fun. Climb all over each other and all the rest of it. I get it, stresses of city life and all, but no, that's not how this works. That's not how this works at all. By the way, Sweatimus Prime over on the Twitters. At Stephen Airey, I'm okay with people moving here, meaning North Carolina. Just not with people bringing the reason for leaving with them, because it'll be different this time. Right. I completely understand, and I know where you're coming from with that. You can come on. Wherever you want to go, move. If you're moving to a red state, don't make it blue. The reason why you're leaving the blue state is because you made it blue in the first place. Come on down, but make sure that you understand. You got to live by our rules, not the other way around. The reason why these areas are as profitable as they are, and the reason why people are moving to these areas is because of the rules that we live by. That's it. That's all. Anyway, this guy goes on and on and on, talking about how, the businesses are gonna die, and all the food places are leaving, and the culture is you haven't been able to go see Broadway in months, and poor you in the real estate market and colleges and all the rest of it. Yes, New York City is suffering. Manhattan is suffering. But Manhattan wouldn't be suffering anywhere close to as bad if they elected somebody who could actually run the government properly. The local government is where you find the problems. The local government is where you find these issues. The local government is the reason why half of this stuff is a problem in the first place. Sure, everybody got freaked out by COVID. And sure, you guys are all sitting at home, not needing to go to the office anymore because, well, you can work from home and be fine. But you also think about the fact that you guys can't go to the playground. That's an open air place. It's open air. It's sunlight. You pop a vitamin C tab. You go outside and you play with your kids. You take your kids to the park. As long as they're, relatively fine, you're good. And I don't know, is it transmissible to kids now? Because other than high school students, we were told below the age of 11, you're good to go. So why are the parks closed? Why is this even an issue? Take your kids to the park. Go take a walk. You're not set to be inside. That is not your life. Go outside. You can take them for a walk. You may not be able to go to the park because it's locked, literally locked, which is really funny to me that you have parks that are fully fenced in and locked. That doesn't make any sense to me. But let me ask you a question. Do you really think that this is the worst time ever in New York City's history? It is the worst time ever? This is the only time that it's ever gotten this bad? How about this? Me being a young guy who doesn't know history. Anybody remember Hooverville? I mean, you probably don't remember it because I don't remember it either. But I do remember learning about it. Hooverville, the Great Depression. The pop-up shanty towns in the middle of downtown, in the middle of the park. Did you not remember? Do you not understand? New York City's Central Park was called Hooverville because the people there who lost all their money, lost all their jobs, was trying to just find work in the middle of New York City, had nothing. And they set up tents and little board houses. It looked like a third world country in the middle of New York City. You think what we're going through right now, you think what Manhattan is going through right now is bad? And the worst thing ever? People are still making money. People are still at home doing their jobs. You don't have to go to the office. And you know what? That's actually a good thing. That's a good thing. You don't have to go to the office to do a computer job. You don't have to go to the office to do these sort of things. Is it nice to have an office that you can go to and potentially be there? But yes, it is. But it can be a shared space. All of these grandiose buildings, all of these things are technically a picture of the past. Turn them into apartment buildings. Turn them into shared office spaces. So that when society does come back, and it will, because people are resilient. The foundation of a society is the hope that we have. And we are resilient people. We don't have all of this calamity and destruction and demise and fade away from it. We as a society look at it dead in the face, laugh, and keep moving forward. We understand these are problems. It is a problematic time. But to claim that New York City is dead forever, as your own opinion, I understand, is this guy's one opinion and everything else and yada, 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 because of his personal experiences, is like giving up on an entire life cycle. It's giving up on the organism that is humanity. And by the way, humanity does basically work like one solid unit. We all breathe, we all live, we all die. But as we go through life, the one thing that we know for certain is through our ingenuity, through our understanding, through everything that we have gone through as human society, all the good, all the horror, all just the not so great things, we always eventually make it back. Whether it's back to where we were prior or whether it's beyond where we were, with better understanding of who we are and better setup and design to propel us forward in life. There are a lot of things that have happened during this quote-unquote plandemic. A lot of things. And I know there are a lot of people out there that say, you know, oh, it is a pandemic. These people are dying and everything else. Yes. 0.06 people who contract the virus die. 0.06 people who contract the virus die. And that's only of the people who contract the virus. Out of the population that we only have about 15 to 20% of the population that have ever contracted the virus and gotten sick. So if you take the odds and you look at the numbers and you understand what's going on, yes, everybody's freaking out about who's catching it and everything else and all the numbers of, all these new cases, but we've already seen that there have been hospitals in states that have literally just posted things at 100% test rates of positivity for reasons we don't understand. You could have gone with a busted knee and suddenly you got COVID. This has happened. Recently, it has happened. All of these areas where we see the biggest impact. What you don't see is a huge amount of people dying. What you see is people getting sick. And on a point-to-point rating, the people who do die, and this is sad to say, but the people who do die of COVID-19 happen to already have pre-existing conditions. That's just how it is. So how about everybody take a break, breathe, and then get back to doing you, because it's all you need to be. Anyway, folks, that sound right there means that it's time to get going. No bell counts because it's first thing in the morning, but I'm sure that Leprechaun will have counted all the missed ones that I gave you guys this morning, as well as adding those into the Brad Staggs numbers. We'll catch everybody up here on Defenders Live, 9 p.m. Eastern, tonight, with brand new stories. Dylan Lyles will be right next to me. It won't sound as serious. It'll be great. Beef from the SAB. Back to life. Back to reality. Well said, Steve Airey. Well said to you, Beef from the SAB. We'll catch you guys tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday here on Mojo 50 Radio. Later.
That was wonderful.
Bravo!
I loved that.
Oh, it was great!
Well, it was pretty good.
Well, it wasn't bad.
Well, there were parts of it that weren't very good.
It could have been a lot better.
I didn't really like it.
It was pretty terrible.
It was bad.
It was awful.
It was terrible.
Get him away!